Hey everyone, it's Brian here, the artist formerly known as AYBL Maine. I am here with my good buddy Rich. Rich has his own channel, Rich Strickler, and our rounding out our treacherous three here is Doc. We're not sure exactly what is the doc of, but he did mention OBGYN a couple times, and we told him that probably wouldn't be a good idea in this Me Too climate. So but we're back here. We're going to be doing our episode 2 of this series that we've kind of committed ourselves to. The basically what it is building a perfect album. We're going to be selecting the 12 our 12 favorite songs to fill out and build a perfect album for every year and sequence here. So we're up to the year 1966. A little bit of housekeeping. People might notice that we had a name change for my channel. I did change it from AYBL Maine to Massey's Maine Entertainment. That would be Maine with an E. I just thought it fit a little bit better with more of the things that I was doing. I'm doing a lot of music and maybe some movies down the road, and just felt like it would be much better than what AYBL stood for, which was sports oriented. And there's nothing wrong with sports, but if I'm not doing video on sports, it seemed like a gigantic waste of time. So just a quick review of the rules real quick. We have a rules in place that we put in for ourselves, and I have an additional rule that we kind of well, it wasn't even a rule, but it's an additional thing that we added to our thing. Remember, we only want to have one song for every album. Singles have to be in the year that they were released, or they could be in the year that they were charted. That's up to the discretion of the person putting together their album, so that's cool. Non-album singles are perfectly on the board. You can select those. Got to be in the year they released or charted. Again, album cuts, those songs particularly have to be in the year that the album was released. So that adds that little bit of a flavor there. We did add an addition, because we were going to be talking about it down the road anyway, about the possibility of having a double album in particular years where there may be an abundance of songs, without going into any of the years. But what we do is we would give each one of us 2 tokens. So that person can cash in a token on any given year. And in that particular year, we would do a double album, which would be 24 songs instead of 12, which would loosen up, some of the struggles we might have in those years that we might be talking about. And I think it adds a new dimension to it. And I think it'd be kind of fun. And the guys kind of agreed, and I'm glad that we're doing it. So before we get started, guys, how do you feel about this year in comparison to 1965? Easier, a little bit harder? What do you got?
My two cents would be, I would say overall, compared to our first one was 65 out of the gate, and here we're at 66. So we're in the mid 60s here, and it almost seemed in that 1 year difference, it almost seemed like music turned a little, and I would say you start to see more signs of where the psychedelia of music was going at this time too, and start to see a little bit more broadening of what people were doing with instruments and orchestras and arrangements and different things like that. It became a little bit more prominent, I'd say, in different fields and different areas. So I'd say, let's face it, 1966, there's a lot of songs in here where people were feeling no pain and ordering a lot of pizzas or something like that at one time or another too. So, right. And I think that's pretty evident in the music at this era too. So
absolutely.
I agree. I think all these years are very difficult because this is the prime time for me growing up. And I love all this music from 65 to about 75, I would say, is right in my sweet spot. And every year is going to be difficult for me. So these cuts are brutal, but they have to be done.
Yeah,
I made my theme this time, instead of Motown and British Invasion and folk rock, I made it more of a mid 60s pop theme where everything kind of just is sunny and happy and that type of thing for the most part. And right. That's where I'm basing my theme around this time.
Well, excellent. Well, all right. Well, I'll jump into mine then. I guess I'm going first this evening. Our order actually is going to be, I'm going first this time because I went last time. We're kind of rotating it around through. So Doc's going to go second right after me. And then batting cleanup is going to be Rich here in the 3-hole. And he'll do a great job, I'm sure of it. And hopefully nobody steals too much of his thunder with our selections here in the first 2. So Jumping right in here, I'm gonna label mine's side rock and pop, and then side psychedelic. So that's instead of side
Nice.
A and side B, that's kind of how I went here because it just felt like that was the flavor that I had. So leading off for me, I had the Rolling Stones, Painted Black, from the US version of Aftermath, and we'll get into why exactly I wanted to make sure that we labeled it as the US version a little bit later. I second year in a row that I've used the Rolling Stones. Okay, I mean, it's just the way it worked out for me. I know it had an interesting backstory with this song where it was mislabeled on the album, where it actually had a comma after it, and where sometimes you read articles, it just has Painted Black without the comma, but most of the times wherever I've seen it listed and magazines and such, it does have the comma in there. Evidently, it was a misprint, and some people keep it, and the Stones said it wasn't supposed to be there. So great song though, got a great texture to it. Really kind of like you could see them kind of turning a little bit of a corner here for the Stones that I really liked. I love the sound a lot. So coming in for my second track on the first side, I've got, this was the one I replaced 3 times to get to this song right here, and this song actually got in here the last minute today, this morning. So I put the Trogs with A Girl Like You.
Wow, nice.
Trogs are mostly known for Wild Thing, but this song here had that nice garage rock, lo-fi, proto-punk feel that I thought wasn't a lot of it going on in the mid 60s. And I'm glad that it kind of started introducing those types of sounds and everything. And I really like the sound. I mean, this only charted fairly well in the United States, but it was #1 in the UK. So had to put it on there. It had a nice feel coming after the Stones too. I really liked it. Right in the middle of my side one, though, I've got probably what I consider the best song. I think it's one of the best songs of all time. It's definitely my favorite Dylan's tune. It's Visions of Johanna from Blonde on Blonde. I think when I describe it to people, I said it's the best reconciliation, I think, between music, lyrics, and poetry that I have ever run across. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm telling you that when I listen to this song, the sheer poetry of it, I'm just absolutely blown away by what type of creative mind must have wrote it. It's just wow. The song became my muse about a great many things that have to do with writing. I thought I was a good writer before. Nah, not even close. Not even close. So
reality check, eh?
Number 4 on that side, though, is as a song, and I love this because it's a song in which the title never actually appears in the lyrics. It's For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. Widely associated as a protest song. I mean, I've heard it on so many movie soundtracks that occurred in the mid 60s or during the Vietnam War, the war films type. And I love it. I love the sound of it. It's got this this great haunting beginning to it, and it just kind of slowly creeps you into the song. Very poignant lyrics. I love it. It felt like it fit really good right after Dylan, right on the first side. Number 5 for me on this side, I have the UK version of Aftermath. And then see, now this is why I know we're not supposed to be using the same album, but I don't think the UK version and the US version are the same album when it comes to Aftermath.
No, they're not.
They don't have the same sequence of songs. There's songs that are missing off of both that are on the other. So I've got Mother's Little Helper from the UK version. It's the lead off track. Great tune. The subject matter is really interesting, obviously, because there seemed to be a preponderance of housewives having to take Valium in the 60s, and maybe deservingly so. I mean, we were some of the children from the 60s. Maybe we absolutely positively needed it. So I love the song though. And I'm glad that I kind of can bend this rule a little bit to fit it in there. Rounding off the first side, I've got Simon and Garfunkel's "Homeward Bound." It's a shorter track by them, but for some reason, this song it's from Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. I think that this song always stuck out to me as like I thought it was the best track on there. This had a completely switch of time signatures in it. Had a different time signature at the beginning of the song than when it actually hit the chorus, and I always thought it was very interesting. And I wanted to close out my my first rock and pop side with that track. So, any thoughts, gentlemen, on
Very cool.
my side, pop and rock?
I have a couple. I had one of the same, one exactly the same, and three of yours made my honorable mention list, and one of them I'm going to have in 1967 because I believe it charted there, although it came out on the album in '66.
Okay.
So the only one that I wasn't thinking of, but I still like this song, is "A Girl Like You."
Yeah, with a girl like you. Yeah, the track.
Yeah, that's the only one I wasn't even considering. The others were all on my list at some. So you did very well, I thought.
Yeah, yep. The same idea. I got one that you got, Brian. One was a last minute cut for me, and I'll tell you that at the end, I guess.
Right,
But
yeah. Perfect.
well, when we get there, we'll get there. We'll know what it is anyway
Right.
when we get there. So
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm kind. When I made this list, guys, I knew immediately. I'm like, you know, I'm starting to feel like I'm going to be the oddball in the bunch all the time. I just felt it.
I don't know.
And that's
I don't think
okay.
so.
you
I
don't
said,
know.
that's
You got another
okay.
side to go. You got another side to go, Brian.
I know.
So you got to hit us up with side B before we find out how odd it is. But
You got to go with what you vibe with, whatever
Yeah.
is in your repertoire. That's what you go with.
Okay, so what I did with it, this is labeled the psychedelic side, and it's not all technically, you know, pure psychedelic, but it, you know, had some flavor to it and stuff. And
Yeah,
most of the songs were, so I called it that. I let it off with the well-known track by the 13th Floor Elevators, "You're Gonna Miss Me."
yeah.
You know, it was a song that was featured on the High Fidelity soundtrack. It was the opening track. For people who don't necessarily know the song, I think it's got this great like weird echo guitar effect in it, and you can definitely tell it's a really early psychedelic stuff. Rocky Erickson, I have some of his solo material as well. I love the guy. He's so creative and so offbeat that if you're a psych rock fan, you got to listen to this. If you haven't, give it a try. The number 2 track from that side, I've got Count 5, Psychotic Reaction.
That's a good one.
Yeah, this is a great track. I mean, it actually charted pretty well. You know, when you mention it to people, a lot of people just don't know the track until, you know, maybe they hear it. At least by name, they don't know that. And but I think it's a great track. I wanted to put it here. It fit.
That's a good one.
Perfectly after 13th Floor, I thought. So
Yeah.
The third track on the psychedelic side, this is a song that honestly I had not heard until this year. Because I just wasn't a huge Donovan fan, other than I covered a song on him this last record, but I have "Season of the Witch" off of Sunshine Superman. I just what a great track. I mean, it's like one of my favorite songs now from the 60s is going to be this. I mean, I put it on a bunch of playlists. It's got this great unique sound to it. And guitar is great in it, and somebody should check that out if they're not really into any of his stuff. He gets psychedelic and he gets weird in a hurry once he gets to some of his other material. I love it. Number 4 for me is going to be from Revolver. I've got "Here, There, and Everywhere" by the Beatles. Just kind of fit the psychedelic feel that I think I had on this side a little bit. I kind of bounced back and forth between, I was going to go with this or Eleanor Rigby, but Eleanor Rigby just didn't feel like it fit on this side of the album at all. I mean, it's such a weird song. It doesn't feel like it fits with most album connections other than Revolver. It probably only could belong on Revolver. So it's just one of those weird feelings, but this track it was like the one track that I knew from the Revolver that I liked the most. And I wanted to try to fit it in there to fit right here perfectly. Number 5 for me is going to be, I'm glad that I was able to get this on. This is like one of my favorite things is "California Dreamin'" by the Mamas and the Papas at number 5. The big fan of the song. Obviously, I heard it in my youth, and you hear it all through your whole life. You know, it's just one of those iconic songs that you hear.
It is.
If anybody's ever seen the movie Chungking Express, I think we talked about it in our movie videos. There's a scene where there's this little Oriental girl who's working a food stand, and she's always dancing to the same song, and it's always "California Dreamin'." And for some reason now, every time I hear the song, I can only think of that little Oriental girl that's dancing her little tail off. So it's interesting. And I decided to close out my side two with, I mean, the album's considered a little bit psychedelic, even though this song, you know, technically isn't. I've got the Beach Boys, God Only Knows. Probably considered, you know, a lot of people consider this probably the best, you know, love song of all time. And I think that Pet Sounds was an album that I only discovered in the last 4 years, to be totally honest. I kind of went back and forth with this and another track on here, but you know, I wasn't really sure whether this other track was widely liked by a lot of other people, so I didn't want to put it on there. So I said, no, you know, God Only Knows is like the one I think is a perfect closeout for a good album. So I just wanted to go with that instead. So
nice.
Right on.
Any better this time around?
I had two that time for you. And I love Season of the Witch. I can't believe I don't have it, but I have a different Donovan song. Donovan had to be represented on my list this time.
Yeah.
Because I missed him in 65, but I wasn't going to have that happen again. But I love Season of the Witch. Great at Halloween time, and you know, just fantastic. I love his vocal. I love the whole vibe of it, the instrumentation. And
it's got this, the chorus has this great build up, you know, and it's it's great.
It's the build up.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so upset at myself that I never introduced myself to his material before the last couple of years. That's just the thing.
Yeah, he's one of the more underrated people out there, I think.
Yeah. Doc,
he's a very talented guy. Very talented guy. Donovan's a very talented man, and he's like in a sweet spot here in the 60s. And I mean, I'm not going to give too much away here. So I don't have Donovan on my album here. But I mean, I had two late cuts, and you both mentioned the songs that I'm talking about here. So, the guy's a very talented dude. So, I think that you'll see the contrast when we do my list compared to yours, Brian. On, you know, this was the '60s, man. This is, and it's very personal, and not everyone's going to like what everybody picks anyway. So it's this is you know, when you get into I do mine and Rich does his, it's going to be, well, that's the 12 I'm putting on right now. If I'm in 1966, that's what I'm playing. So that's the way it is. So it's so diverse, and this is that time of music that there's a wide variety, man. Wide.
Yep.
It's a great list, Brian. You got a great album there, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks,
really
guys.
solid.
So, Jock, you're the man now. You got to lay it all on us now.
So I like how you did that, Brian, because you said, you know, okay, I got my psychedelic side or my pop rock.
Yeah.
I think I got something similar here in one sense. So I'm going to call it. I don't even know how I'm going to call this here. So I mean, this side A and side B, but side A, sure, psychedelic pop-ish, I guess, or whatever. We'll see how it goes. So I'll start off right with mine. So I'm side A, song one, hopefully representing 1966 in the right spot here, is "Loving Spoonful," and it's "Summer in the City." So that's what I'm starting off with. Yeah, a great tune, man.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, you know, that gives you everything. I think there's a little bit of a theme going on in 66 here, where everybody is talking about work at one point and getting pissed off about it and can't wait for the day to end too. So there seems to be something along those lines. I find that on a few of these. So, but Summer in the City, Loving Spoonful, you know, they're representing everything exactly what I just said. You know, can't wait for the day to end, get on to the night. You know, this is, you know, the cars honking, the streets, giving all those street sounds, everything else that goes with it and stuff. You know, the piano, it's so, you know, hypnotic almost in the song in one sense. You know, you just start bopping away to it as soon as you start hearing it. And really catchy. I find a lot of catchy tunes in 66. I'll be saying that word a lot throughout this list for sure. And there's a reason, because they are. So starting off with that one. Second song. Yeah, it's the Beach Boys. And it's Good Vibrations.
Oh.
Nice. Change up.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, I'm sticking with what I know, what I like out of this era, and this is what I like, and this is what I know. So the harmonies in this song, the orchestra in this song, the instrumentation of this song, man, this is top notch, man. This is 1966, and this is some serious music that Brian was putting together here, man. So as much as it's got everything else, you know, but the orchestra, it's almost like church-like with the organ and different things in the song, and it's got a little bit of everything in this song. You know, hey, this is pop rock in 1966, man. But this sounds fantastic. So that's gonna be my second one on side A. My third song, geez. It's question mark and mysterious, buddy. It's 96 Tears.
Yeah.
So talk about more hypnotic than, I don't know if you can get any more hypnotic than this tune, man. I mean,
That's a good one.
This is, yeah, it's a great tune, man.
Yeah.
Catchy, let's face it, the material in some of these things, some of them, like we talk about it in 65, 66 again, you have some really good songwriting, you have some really deep, meaningful songs written in 65. Again, in 66, you'll find the same thing, but you'll also find, there's pop and there's like, and boyfriend, girlfriend, and, breaking my heart and I'm breaking yours. So the 96 Tears, the ebb and flow of having somebody heartbroken and, crying 96 tears is one thing, they put it to like a just hypnotic. If you don't know the song, you go listen to that one, you're going to be pissed at me because you listened to it and that's going to be stuck in your head for a week. So it's almost got a carnival-like feel to it almost. That
That's great.
Yeah. And 96. Yes, it's a great tune, man. It's just a great.
Too many teardrops.
Yeah.
That vocal's cool too.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that we can't sing well enough for them to bust us.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Just go over to YouTube and play it.
Yeah. It's a 66 groovy tune, man. That's what that song is. That's what I'd probably call it. So that's my third on side A. My fourth track on side A. So it's sticking with this theme that I got going here. So it's the Spencer Davis group, man. It's Give Me Some Love. So kind of like a big fan of Steve Winwood anyway, man. So this is you hear that, opening bass line and everything else to a tune, and you're not bopping or tapping your foot to this song right out of the gate, and that organ drops, man, then you don't like music. I don't know what to tell you, man. So It's going to catch you. Just a really catchy tune, man. And I think it represents it's a summer song for 1966, man. And
the bass line on that is fantastic. I mean, it's just, yeah.
And then you hear the organ and it comes right in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're right into the tune right away, man. So nothing fancy about the lyrics or anything like that. Just a really catchy pop rock song with really done musically really well. And I love Steve Winwood's voice, man. So that's an add-on for me. It only went to number 2, actually. So my fifth song after Give Me Some Lovin', more of the psychedelic side of things, I think. So it's The Shapes of Things.
Ooh, Yardbirds.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Yardbirds, man. I can't get around Jeff Beck, man, on this one. So this is real psychedelic rock at this time, really. It's that guitar is just fantastic in this tune, man. It's psychedelic rock. Early psychedelic rock is The Shapes of Things, man. It's not much, they're out there even singing it like, come tomorrow, will I be older and stuff like this. The way the song goes and stuff. It's more of the thinking psychedelic, buzzed out, taking some shrooms, listen to this tune. You see how they got here. This is what it was. So this is how they wrote this. This is how they sang it, and this is what it's about. So it's a psychedelic tune. It's fantastic. Like I said, Jeff Beck, pulling the strings and everything to get to the sound effects on the guitar and everything. It's real psychedelic rock in the mid 60s, man. This is a classic. Finishing off my side A. I'm going to have to disagree with Brian in one sense here. So I do think Eleanor Rigby can end an album. So I'm thinking it's ending this side, actually.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But I think I have a little bit of a theme on that side, with the church-like organs and, the sounds of even like, good vibrations and almost the orchestra-like feel and some of these things, as it flows through on this side of the album, dropping Eleanor Rigby in.
Yeah, I could see Eleanor bringing you down from a high off of that side. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's a lately depressing song and everything else like that, but it's always been a catchy depressing too, right? It's just just storytelling, man. This is they're all storytelling. Some of it's just much better than others, and this is kind of like one of my favorite Beatles tunes, man. So I had to put one in here, and then I had lots to choose from. That Here, There, Everywhere, man, it's on my list. And there's lots off that album that are on my list, but this one's, I've always had a sweet spot for Eleanor Rigby, and it's closing up my side A. There you go, boys.
I've got two the same and three. Wait a minute. One, two, yeah, two the same and three honorable mentions. It's very. You guys are all over my stuff. What can I tell you?
Yeah. I've got one of yours as an honorable mention, but it's like all those songs though. It's not like I didn't consider them at all. You know,
Right.
I mean, they're all like when you're making together the preliminary list, all these songs are in the mix. And Eleanor Rigby was just you got stone's throw away from being in there instead of here, there, and everywhere. That's just the way it is. And it's how you think it's going to fit best on each person's particular album. And it's like, those are all jamming songs. I mean, immediately.
Yeah.
My favorite of the one I had honorable mention was the Spencer Davis group. I mean, I think that's just an absolute classic, an absolute jammer. So,
that was hard to leave off. And so to me, so was 96 Tears, because I originally had that, and that's like a one-hit wonder, garage rock kind of classic. I love it, but I went in a different direction on the song where that used to be. I had it on my original list. So very good.
That's cool.
I think it's excellent. I like the fact that now it seems like we're really diversifying a little bit here.
More so,
I think so.
Yeah,
more so than 65, I'd say for sure.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Well, give us your side
with
B.
With that in mind, say that again, Brian. Sorry.
We're ready for your side B.
Yeah, let's
side B. I'm going to call side B everything else.
Everything else.
I don't know how else to say this. So it's I still think it represents it's who I am. If it's Sean, we're going to put on in side B in 19. This is what I'm putting on in side B in 1966. It's not going to fit perfect in my eyes, and I know it doesn't. Right. At the end of the day, I kind of really don't care, man. I want that tune on my album. That's what I'm going to get. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So. But I am going to start off my side A. Side B. My first song is going to sound a lot like Brian's side A. So it's Painted Black by the Stones.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It's not like I went from really one Upjoy song and Eleanor Rigby to finish off side A to jump into an upbeat, really. And here's another depressing tune, Painted Black. I mean, but I mean, it's Painted Black's an iconic classic rock song, man. There's no getting around it. It's one of my favorite Stones tunes again.
Yeah.
And they have lots, man, but psychedelic almost, if you listen to you get down to the music and stuff, you can almost say it's got a little bit of a Mexican feel into it at times when you start listening to the background and the guitars and stuff, the way the keys playing and stuff. It's really funky, man. That drum beat in that tune is nonstop, man. You're in right away.
I love it.
Song. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the most recognizable guitar entries ever. Yeah. Absolutely. You hear that first two chords, you're going, I know what that is. Yeah, you're good.
Fantastic. Yeah. Lots of bands open for that. I've seen Rush open with that. Actually, the SARS concert before they came on stage with the Stones. That's what they opened with. And it's fantastic, actually.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty cool. That comes from a Toronto boy for anybody out there, so that means a lot. So, so now I'm going from Painted Black, and this is where I kind of like, like I said, these are tunes, man, and I like it. So you're gonna see how this side goes. So. Like Painted Black, depressing and everything else, but fantastic rock song. And I'm doing a 180 here, man. So I'm going, Hold On, I'm Coming. It's Sam and Dave.
Great.
Fantastic. I mean, there's no getting around this, man. I have a sweet spot for some blues and some soul and some R&B and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is prime time for this kind of music for me still. So, and this is one of my favorite blues tunes, man. This is just the horns, the voices. These guys can sing, man. Frig. The sax, everything else in the song. This song just rocks, man. And once you're into it, you get to the chorus, man. And if you're not singing that chorus, then once again, you don't like music. I don't know what else to tell you. So Hold On, I'm Coming from Sam and Dave, man. Absolute classic. If it's not even your genre, I think you'll still enjoy this tune, man. So
definitely,
if you don't know it, I don't know how that vibe goes, man. My third tune is the Vogues, man. It's 5 O'Clock World.
Wow.
Oh, I like that song. That was not on my radar, but I like it.
I remember it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Once again, 5 o'clock world. What do you think they're talking about? Eh?
I
I'm working
get
all
the
day. I
heck
can't
out
wait
of
for 5
Dodge.
o'clock to here to get with my life, right? So that theme in 1966 was being pissed off at work or something, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the harmonies on these guys, and it's almost like, you know, you get to the chorus, it's almost like yodeling almost at certain points in that song. You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's another one of those hypnotic tunes, man. I mean, I'm going to be surprised if you listen to this one 20 times in a row and ordered a pizza for yourself either. So one of those kind of songs. So
Good one.
yeah, I just, yeah, it's almost got the, you know, a war kind of feel to it too. You know, you can see this being in a war movie, and it might have been in time. I don't know if it was or not, but I have a feeling it was. But just, I've known that song for a long time, and I've loved that song for a long time. Just haven't heard it in a long time until I went back and did this. But man, that's a great tune. So makes my list.
Yep.
Number 4. Right back into the blues again, man. The blues soul thing here. So just knock on wood, man. So
Knock on wood. Love it.
yeah. Now, knock on wood, you know, is it's like the song itself. It's like, you know, it's okay if you start listening to it until it drops, until you get to the chorus, and it's like, man, when those horns come in and it drops, you better knock on wood. You know, it's like thunder, it's like lightning and stuff. And then you get into the thing, and it turns into a blues tune in a heartbeat for like a 3-minute song. That's packing a lot in for, you know, here again, you know, Donald Duck Dunn and Steve the Colonel Cropper, you know, or these guys are showing up all over the place at this time. And these guys are, you know, maybe I got something for those guys and how they play and everything else in the music they do, because I love this tune too. And, you know, lots of covers throughout this over the years. But when those horns drop, man, you're bopping to that one too.
That's a good one.
Thanks. Number 5. I'll blame my parents for this one. So, I can't get around it, man. I like Neil Diamond. I like Neil Diamond a lot. So Cherry is making my list, man. Number 5. So
I like it.
yeah, I just, you know, Neil's always had like a gospel kind of feel to him anyway, in one sense, you know, and musically he does. This is his first big hit. This is the first time he makes it commercially, you know. There's nothing special about what the song's about, you know. Jerry, you know, this is about going out and getting some or whatever, you know, but that's fine. But musically, the backup vocals, everything else that goes with the song, you know, he had a pretty, number 4 or number 3, it charted. It did very well for him.
Big hit.
Yeah. Big hit, and it actually set him off on his way kind of thing. And this is after he's written for the Monkees, and you guys might have that on there, you know, The Last Train and stuff. But he's a talent that's been around for a long time. Pardon me?
They literally played this song every half hour when I was growing up in the 60s. Oh, this was such a smash hit. Baby loves you, yeah, she does. Just a great, catchy song.
Yeah.
I like Neil Diamond too. I know it's not cool. It's not cool to like Neil Diamond, but guess what? I ain't cool. I like Neil Diamond.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
My wife would love you guys.
Yeah, fantastic. We love her already, man.
Yeah. I'll tell her.
Thanks, man. But yeah, and the piano that drops in that song too is it's so powerful. Dun, 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 dun. It's
right.
It's catchy, man. It's a catchy tune, and I said, blame my parents, man. Rounding it out, man. I can't help it. Probably one of my favorite songs, maybe from this whole era. So it's Reach Out, I'll Be There, man. I'm doing the 4 tops to finish it off. So
wow.
Killer.
Told you it's everything else on side B. So I don't know how else I could have said side B, you know. Dropping the Stones in there. I got the Vogues, I got Sam and Dave, I got Neil Diamond, and I got 4 tops, man. So
it's like a hodgepodge, you know.
It's a hodgepodge of everything else. But I'd be happy if somebody played that side B for me, and I'm sitting in the basement. So
I would call it your gumbo side.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'm cool with that. But you know,
where's the andouille sausage? You know, it's pretty good. It's pretty
bad, man.
Pretty solid, man. I like those songs.
Like there, it's a really good tune, man.
I like those sort of off the wall songs, like 5 O'Clock World, Cherry. I didn't see them coming, but if you played that right now, I'd be into it. You know,
totally. Yeah, we all would.
Yeah, I remember 5 o'clock. I remember 5 O'Clock World. My mom playing that song. I remember Reach Out by the. Oh man, that's just played all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are all songs that I heard, you know, I mean, it's not like I've never heard them.
Yeah.
Obviously Painted Black, you and I both had.
Yeah.
Now, Knock on Wood, I mean, I guess that's the one where I do know the song, but I may know the disco version more than I know.
Right. That's
You probably do. You probably do.
That may be that's just probably just how I was raised, I guess, probably. But
yeah, this is the original Eddie Floyd.
Right,
this is Eddie Floyd.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that with Booker T and the MGs as
Booker
the
T and the
backup.
MGs,
As a backup.
man. Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Memphis
Perfect.
Soul. Great shit. Stuff.
Yeah. All of the above.
Well, I like
Trying to
it.
keep my act up.
I like the fact that
Yeah.
we only had one. I really do. I like the fact that we did.
It's pretty
you know?
cool, huh?
Yeah.
Definitely, we are all over the place. We're more diversified than we were in '65 for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, this is the way it's going to go from here on out. We're going to pick the stuff that we relate to, we have great memories with, and you know, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Awesome.
You want me to
Rich, you gonna
jump right
kick us
in here?
off here?
I'm going to try. I have a couple that have been mentioned right out of the chute. I'm leading this Strickler album off with California Dreamin'.
Woo.
To me, that's mid-'60s personified. That opening line, all the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. I love the harmonies of the song.
Oh,
Timeless
beautiful.
classic. It gives me a very nostalgic feeling of growing up at that time.
I do.
And a lot of the music, this was about somebody who's in New York, stuck in New York, and they're thinking of going to L.A. And a lot of the music was based in L.A. after that. A lot of the bands I like, anyway, the folk rock and the even some of the electric music and the psych music and stuff was out there to Frisco, L.A. My next song up is one that Doc had, I believe, "Summer in the City" by the LOUIN Spoonful. Just to love the way it starts. You know, dun, dun, boom, dun, and it hot down, summer in the city, just jamming. That was the #1 song. It's always a positive, upbeat, kind of catchy chorus. It's got those city effects. I wrote that down here: the horns, the jackhammer, the traffic. You know, you're in the city. It's just pure mid-'60s pop, and that's what I like the best. So these songs I'm real happy to be putting on my album. Right after the LOUIN Spoonful, I'm going with the Rascals, "Good Lovin'," another #1 song, infectious. It rocks. It's a sing-along song. It's got that soulful vocal by Felix Cavallari, the lead singer. I just love playing it loud, cranking it up. It makes you feel good, you know. I was feeling mighty sad. The doctor asked me what I had. I said, Dr. MD or whatever. And it just jams, man. I love that stuff. The Grateful Dead did it.
Yeah.
Right. The Grateful Dead did a remake of it later in the late '70s, but I always prefer the Rascals version, the original. #4, Doc had it. Again, "Reach Out, I'll Be There" by the Four Tops.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a monster song. One of the best of Motown, I think. Dozier Holland, who wrote, God, hundreds of songs for these guys. Levi Stubbs, what a great vocalist.
What a voice.
Powerful, emotional. You just feel everything he's saying, you know. I could read the lyrics, but I'm not going to. Just everybody knows that song. If you don't, check it out. "Reach Out, I'll Be There." I almost went with "Standing in the Shadows of Love," another great Four Top song.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Which came out in '66 and crossed over to '67. It may appear later. I don't know. I love the Four Tops. Now we're going to change it up a bit. It goes from "Reach Out, I'll Be There" to a little bit of the Monkees.
Yep.
"Last Train to Clarksville."
Yep.
I love this song. It's got that catchy pop '60s, the opening guitar riff.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
We just lost your boy.
Mickey Dolenz, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 3 of the 4 Monkees are no longer with us. So
Yeah.
the Wrecking Crew is on the background of this. Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart wrote the song. They did a lot of Monkee songs, and if you listen to it closely, everybody says the Monkees don't play their own instruments, and at that time maybe they didn't. The Wrecking Crew was all over it, but if you listen to it, it's a perfect pop song.
Yeah.
The instrumentation is great, the vocals great, the vibe is great, and it put the Monkees on the map as on their first album. And closing outside, A is my sort of one-hit wonder off the wall track. You guys each had one, I think. This is sort of garage rocky. Time Won't Let Me by the Outsiders. I love this song. These guys are from Pittsburgh. It's got horns. It's got that catchy, soulful delivery. The guy had a lot of oomph in his voice. And it's got that time won't let me, oh, time won't let me. And then it screams, wait that long. Do-do-do-do. It's got the great bass drums. So that's ending side A for me.
Wait forever. See, now, Outsiders was the one I removed and put the Trogs in.
I can see that.
Yeah. See, I mean, yeah, Time Won't Let Me. I love the song, and also the Smithereens that did a cover of it in the late 80s as well. Wasn't nearly as good.
Right.
Wasn't nearly as good, but they did a cover of it. Yeah, great. It's a great tune. I had it in there for a while, Rich. I had at least 3 days. I'm going, almost made it. Almost made it.
Yeah, that was the
one.
one.
Good Love. Good Love. It was on my list at one point for sure. So in my top 12.
Yeah. And we had we had Summer in the City. The same on that. And Brian and I had California Dreaming.
Yeah.
You also had Reach Out, I'll Be There.
Reach Out, I'll Be There. Great.
That's right.
Yeah. For side 2, let me just make sure I have this right. Yeah. Side 2, I'm leading off with Donovan, Sunshine Superman. I like the way it starts. I think it starts off a side really well.
Right.
Dun, 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 you know how it goes.
Oh, it's catchy, man.
Awesome. Psychedelic pop. I love got to have Donovan. Great guitar work on here too. I love his voice. I wish I would have taken Season of the Witch, but in this case, I think it fits my particular album a little better.
Yeah.
And I like the lyrics. The lyrics are interesting. It's kind of trippy.
Yeah.
Sunshine came softly through my window today. And he goes, because I made up my mind, you're going to be mine. I'll tell you right now. And every trick in the book, he just goes into it.
And every trick in the book.
And I go from that into the song that is difficult to place anywhere, but I placed it, Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles.
Fantastic, buddy.
I like the transition from Donovan to the Beatles. They're both British.
Yeah.
It flows well. If you play them back to back and you hear that at any trick in the book, I love you, and then you go, look at all the lonely people. It works. It works. And there's a cello in here. Its instrumentation is fantastic. It's got those deeper lyrics for the Beatles. Hiding a face she keeps in a jar at the door. Who was it for? I mean, what are you supposed to make of that? They were obviously doing acid and drugs out of their mind. And it paid off, man. We love these songs. From there, I'm going to the Kinks, Sunny Afternoon, one of my favorite Kinks songs.
Yeah.
I love this Ray Davies, man. The rich getting squeezed by the tax man. You know, I can't sail my yacht. He's taking everything I've got. All I got is Sunny Afternoon. My girlfriend's run off with my car, gone back to her mom and pop. I love that too. You know, telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty. Now I'm sitting here sipping at my ice cold beer, lazing on a sunny afternoon. So British sounding.
Yeah.
And so cool. Then we're going to go into a little more of a downer note after the Sunny Afternoon and after the Sunshine Superman. We're going to go with Simon and Garfunkel's I Am a Rock. One of my favorite Simon and Garfunkel songs. Yeah. I don't want to paint a picture that everything was all peaches and cream in the 60s, because it wasn't. So this is sort of bringing you down a little bit. Loneliness explored, somebody that's been shunned a little bit maybe, or bullied or whatever, and isolated. And he's got his books and his poetry to protect him, hiding in his room, safe within his womb. I touch no one and no one touches me. I am a rock. I am an island, and a rock feels no pain, and an island never cries. It's a cool song. It's a beautifully written song.
Yep, it's a great album.
Then from that dark edge, I'm going into Paint It Black. We all had Paint It Black. Rolling Stones, another classic with that Indian Middle East influence in the music, dark lyrics. Could be about depression. It could be about loss. I don't know. I thought it went well back to back with I Am a Rock. Grief. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black. That's sort of like a funeral type image to me.
Mhm.
And I like the way Mick sings it at the end. I want to see you painted, painted, painted black. He like emphasizes it, brings the whole song together. And then I'm going to wind up the album with the classic Beach Boys, God Only Knows. It had to be my closer, a masterpiece. Not too many perfect songs. I consider this a perfect song. It's got the flutes, the clarinets, the accordion, the strings, everything in it. Kitchen sink. It's spiritual. It's a love song. Carl Wilson on vocals. Fantastic. And that's going to be the last song on the album for me.
Wow, we both had that as a closer. Nice.
Nice job. Yeah. Like that.
So as
and
far
I had
at least,
yeah, I mean, what I like most, I mean, definitely now, like you said, I mean, we're all going in different directions. If you were to read me that list, Rich, I would have known between you and Doc that was you. I just would know just by the songs that have been going. Yeah, I think it's going to get more and more to where we're just going to be able to recognize that that's going to be that our list, and we'll know for sure.
That's a cool thing, though. When you get to know people by the music they like.
Yeah,
you totally agree.
Actually, so what did you have for some honorable mentions, Rich? What did you have?
Well, I have too many to name, but I'm going to start. I'll run through them quick. I had "Walk Away, Renee" by the Left Bank. "When a Man Loves a Woman," "Hold On, I'm Coming," "Uptight" by Stevie Wonder.
Right.
"Ain't Too Proud to Beg" by the Temps. "What Becomes of the Brokenhearted," "This Old what's it called? "This Old Heart of Mine." Sorry.
Right.
"Soul and Inspiration" by the Righteous Brothers again. 96 Tears. "Black is Black" by Los Lobos. "Give Me Some Lovin'" by Spencer Davis. Johnny Rivers, "Secret Agent Man." Always loved the song. Couldn't find a spot for it. Same with I Fought the Law and the Law Won. Bobby Fuller. "Homeward Bound." "Mother's Little Helper." 19th Nervous Breakdown. "Under My Thumb" by the Stones. "Wouldn't It Be Nice?" Sloop John B. and "Good Vibrations" by the Beach Boys. "Just Like a Woman." And my favorite song of this year, couldn't squeeze it in, "Visions of Johanna," which Brian had.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's absolutely a beautifully written, poetic masterpiece, but it just didn't fit the flow with the pop.
My favorite song of that year, and probably in the top 5 favorite songs of all time for me, "Visions of Johanna." I also had Sloop John B, like you. I had "Hideaway" by John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. That's an instrumental, but it's fantastic. I love it. I also had Dylan's "Just Like a Woman," Otis' "Try a Little Tenderness," the Kinks' "Sunny Afternoon," and I had the Outsiders' "Time Won't Let Me." So
cool.
Those are good tunes as well. Doc, what did you have?
Man, I had "Rainy Day Woman."
It's a good one.
Oh yeah.
I was, you know what, that was my closer when I first did my list. So
nice.
I thought I could see it being open, and that's why I took it at the end. "Mother's Little Helper," 19th Nervous Breakdown, "Sunshine Superman," "Uptight," "Keep Me Hanging On," "Mustang Sally," "Wouldn't It Be Nice?"
So many.
Luke Johnny B, "Monday, God Only Knows," and "Good Love." So they're all on my list.
You're so good
just
that
shows
God only
everybody
knows
how
didn't make it for Doc.
Now, he had "Good Vibrations," but I can understand that because that's a toss-up. It really is a toss-up.
Yeah.
No, listen, I respect the fact that you think it's a 10 and everything else. Carl, his voice is fantastic in that song, man, and it's a great song and everything else.
Yeah.
To me, the other one just resonates more with 1966, and if I'm putting on a Beach Boys tune from 1966, I'm putting on "Good Vibrations," man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would fall into that camp with you.
I mean, so too.
I think it's 50-50. You have both. The argument is, there's no right or wrong.
Wouldn't It Be Nice, even, because that's also another.
Wouldn't It Be Nice is a classic. And Sloop John B, if you want to just
Sloop
have
John
fun
B
and listen to,
which I had. So I had 4 songs off the album I was going to go with, but it's just the instrumentation and everything on "Good Vibrations" just won it out for me. That's how I took it.
Yeah,
it just shows how much great music.
When I was
what's that, Brian?
I was singing the lyrics to Sloop John B to my wife one time, and she couldn't believe that they had the word grits in the song, because that's a Southern thing. They don't even have grits in Maine. They're like, they don't know what that is, right? You got to go down south to get some grits. So I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was cool. Can't believe how
I
many
think that's
great
incredible.
songs.
I think the list is diverse. It's really diverse across all of 1960s. Obviously, with all of us here, it's. I think we
And
can have
this
to
is
go to
just,
everybody's house and listen to these tunes, man. That'd be fine with me.
yeah. We should actually predict what each other's going to have in 67. It's going to be unbelievable.
Well, what I do is I drag a bunch of album covers in there that I think that, you know, are going to be picked.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously I know my 12, but then I just throw a bunch in there. I'm not going to have that many that I'm going to have to go back and delete, and that many that I'm going to have to search for. I mean, I just kind of know that some of these other ones are going to be in play. So I just, you know, so I get kind of a head start. I'm not doing so much work on that, but that it's kind of interesting. But
I'm sorry you're gonna have to go find the Neil Diamond one, Brian. I'm sorry about that, but
my God.
Cherry, baby.
Can't get around that piano, man. Love that piano.
All right.
Great song.
Well, why don't we go ahead and we'll wrap this up, guys, and then we can stay and chat afterwards or whatever. But that was it for 1966. This was just one of those years where everything just seemed to like explode for music, explode for albums. That's why it was so hard for us to choose, and that's probably why we got such a varied result this time as opposed to last time. So I think it's great. Thank you always, Doc. I really appreciate you being a part of all this. Rich,
You got it, man.
For always being there, and
Thank you.
I'll put Rich's channel down below like I did in the last video, so you can check out his channel. Does some great sports stuff. We did some movie stuff together, him, I, and Doc and JJ. So you want to check all those videos out. Some great material there. So
Thanks.
Until next week, we're actually going to go ahead and make sure we get our 1967 out next week as well. So look for our video then. Subscribe to my channel if you think about it. And you guys have a good day. We'll catch you on the next one.